Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Charles from the channel Books on Stereo, and I think I did a little bit of a bad thing. I went a little bit overboard on Chirp. If you don't know what Chirp is, it's essentially like a discounted website for audiobooks from indie and traditionally published authors as well. And I mean, they have like crazy good deals. Like, don't blame me, but like you can get some audiobooks for like $1 to $4 or $5. Like, how can you resist? So I may have gone a little bit overboard. So if you looked at the thumbnail, you are 100% correct. I spent way too much damn money on this platform, but I think it all will pay off in the future. I just can't see now because now my wallet is crying right now. So since I have so many audiobooks to go through, I will not be giving you synopsis on every single one of these different audiobooks because hell, I don't even know what half of these are about, but I heard great things about them. They look good, so I decided to pick them up. But I did organize all these audiobooks by genre. So I have YA, historical, contemporary, which is like pretty much where all my romance is, and some paranormal. And I think that's all the main categories, but I will list them down in the description box down below if you want to see the haul or you just want to skip to certain sections that you care about more. So those timestamps will be down in the description box as well. But I'm gonna make this a judgment-free zone. We're just going to go with it. I bought too many audiobooks, I know this, but I'm trash for audiobooks, so what else is new? So without further ado, let's get into the haul. First we have YA, and the first book that I got is Agnes at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams, and I believe this is like a dystopian-esque YA sci-fi novel. Then I had The Bright Lands by John Farm, and the way this book was pitched to me, I think it was Gabby, she pitched this book and she talked about it. It's essentially like if you take Friday Night Lights but make it gay and make it YA, and you have this book. Then I have Yesterday is History by Kosoko Jackson, and this is a YA time travel, contemporary fiction, speculative fiction type novel featuring a black main character. So I'm super excited about this, and I believe there's like a twinge of romance kind of smidged in as well in this one. Then If It Makes You Happy by Clara Khan. Now I know she came out with like an asexual YA romance a couple years ago, and I found this was like one of her latest releases, and this one was on sale, so I thought, let's give this author a try. Up next, now we're gonna jump into my adult thriller portion. I think there might be some YA thrillers in here as well. I wasn't super thorough on how I was kind of classifying all these audiobooks. Just wait until we get to the contemporary because stuff goes crazy in that one. Up first, I have Darkfall by Dean Koontz. I heard a ton of great things about this author, so I'm super excited to be diving into this thriller by this author. Then I have The Woods by Harlan Coben, and oh my goodness, I think I just like love like the way he just writes thrillers. They're so atmospheric, they're so filled with tension, and you just can't help turning the pages. So like I'm super excited to be getting to this one. I know absolutely nothing about it, but I like the author. Then I have Darkness Take My Hand by Dennis Lehane, and Dennis Lehane is one author that I really wanted to read all their backlists. I think I read Mystic River by the same author, and oh my goodness, if you guys haven't read that book, please go do yourself a favor and go read that book. It's absolutely amazing. And I think this one is part of like his mystery detective series, and I believe this is either book 1 or 3, I can't remember, but I'm super excited to be diving into this book as well, or hauling this book, because I don't know when I'm going to actually read this book. Then I have Finder by Lisa Gardner, and I know this is a very popular mystery thriller writer. Know nothing about this book, but I know of the author. Then I have Nightmare Alley by William Lindsay Gresham. I believe that's the author's name. And the only reason why I bought this audiobook because I saw that this was the inspiration for the film adaptation that came out, I think a couple months ago, with starring Bradley Cooper and a bunch of other different like stars. And I was like, oh, that looks really good. Oh, it's an audiobook. Let me read the book before I watch the movie. Even though with my current schedule, will I get to this book in a timely manner? I don't think so, but we're just gonna keep on hoping. Up next, I got a trilogy bundled into one book, and this is, we're jumping into sci-fi now, so sorry I didn't say that. But this trilogy, I think it's like Reventing the Past or something like that, but by Rebecca Hefner. And this is a 3-book trilogy all bound up into one audiobook, so like it was a really great deal, and I heard great things about this author. Literally, I just went to Goodreads and like searched like keyword like sexy or steamy, and that's how I saw enough of the reviews mentioning those 2 keywords. I was like, okay, I'll give you a try. Then because everyone and their mother is obsessed with this series and like Alien Smut, I decided to pick up the first like 6 books in the Ice Planet Barbarian series by Ruby Dixon. I think it's the first 6. Don't quote me on that. I think it was the first 6 that were on sale, but I'm super excited to be delving into this series. I just heard nothing but great things about this series, how it's just over the top and so much fun. So the first book is Ice Planet Barbarians. Book 2 is Barbarian Lover. Book 3 is Barbarian Alien. Book 4 is Barbarian Mine. And book 6 is Barbarian's Mate. And I could be completely wrong with the order. That's just how I written it down in my notes. So don't come for me if I got your favorite series all out of order. Like, I'm sorry, I'm human, I make mistakes. Now we're gonna jump over into my paranormal haul. And up first I have a couple books by this author named A.H. Lee. And I think I already bought book 1 in the series I'm going to be talking about, but book 2 is called The Knight and the Necromancer, The Border. I think that's what book 2 is called. I think the whole series is The Knight and the Necromancer. It's an MM fantasy romance / paranormal. I'm going to classify as paranormal. The distinction between the two gets more and more fuzzy the more and more I read the two of the genres, so we're just gonna call it paranormal for all intents and purposes. And then book 3 is entitled The Sea, and then I have another series by this author. Is called Incubus Cage, I believe, and this one is a menage with the heroine being a succubi, if I'm not mistaken. And then lastly, I have Enthralled, which is part of the Knight and the Necromancer series, and I believe this is like a 3.5 novella, so it should be read after you read the trilogy. Then I have Born of Night by Shirley Kenyon. I just been wanting to delve into this author's like world, like ever since I just saw her popping around the paranormal world, and after I just fell in love with the Immortals After Dark series by Kresley Cole. But I'm kind of intimidated. Her books seem like really daunting, and there's a lot of backstory and a lot of work you have to do to navigate throughout all her books. But I saw this book was on sale, so I said, hey, I'm gonna eventually do a dive into this author's backlist. Let me pick this up while it's on sale. Then I have Murder Takes a High Road by Josh Lanyon, and I believe this is like a ghost paranormal SMM romance. Then I have Let the Wild Out by Madeline Porter, and I know absolutely nothing about this book. I think it was 99 cents, so I bought it. Then I have Soul in Darkness by Whitney Higgins, and I believe this is a Psyche and Eros retelling. So like, oh, I'm really excited to be getting to that one. Then I had You Had Me at Wolf by Terry Spear, and this is romantic suspense paranormal shifter romance featuring wolves, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going by the title, and I heard great things about this author. So on to the next one. Then I have Chosen by Stacey Jones, and I believe this is a paranormal reverse harem romance. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. Then I have Sacrifice to the Dragon by Jessie Donovan. And this was a book that I saw from Steph's Romance Book Talk. Definitely go subscribe to her if you are not subscribed to her. And she was just binging this series. I think it's like about 6 or 7 books. And I saw that the first book was on sale, so I was like, thank you. I'm gonna snatch it up. Up next, I have The Witch's Familiar by TJ Nichols, and this is an MM paranormal shifter romance. Then I have Ignite the Flame by Susan Grishcombe, and I think I found this author through one of the narrators that I follow on Instagram, audiobook narrators, I should say, and they were raving about how steamy her books are, so I was like, okay, found one that was on sale, so I was like, thank you. So then I have 2 books from Eve Longless. I think that's how you pronounce the author's name. The first book is entitled Pushing Up Posies, which I think is a Grim Reaper romance. And then I have Broomstick Breakdown, which is a witchy romance. Then I have 2 books by Lisa Casey. I believe that's how you pronounce the author's name. And the first book is Witch Bond. And then the next book is Witch Bane. And I believe these 2 are part of the same series. I bought book 1 a while ago, and so I wanted to complete out the trilogy. Okay, and now this next author, I bought a ton, like way too many audiobooks from this one author that I have never read before. I know that sounds really dumb of me, but like, let me just tell you how cheap these books were. Each of these audiobooks were $1 each. Yes, $1. So I could get a whole entire series for like $15. So I was like, you know what? I heard great things about this author. I saw this kind of author being talked about like as very paranormal and very high steam and has very alpha heroes, and I got the vibe that she would be like Kresley Cole. You know, I'm just really trying to explain the fact that I spent way too much money on an author that I haven't read before, and I'm trying to like reduce that cognitive dissonance, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna run through these books really quickly because I bought a lot from this author. So up first I have A View to Kill, Master of the Hunt, Securing Sarah, Rescuing Rhea, Strength in Numbers, which is a menage, Space Pirate's Bounty, which is another menage as well, Goddess of the Groove, Winter Solstice, A Druid of Her Own, Executive Decision, which I believe is like a contemporary office place romance, but I think I just accidentally put it with the rest of the paranormal books, but we're just gonna keep on going on. Then I have Heated Holiday, Hunted Holiday, Secrets We Keep, which I believe is a novella, Loop Geru, I think that's the title of this book, and this is a rockstar paranormal romance. Then I have Act of Surrender, Critical Intelligence, Act of Submission, Tactical Magic, Act of Command, Radar of Deception, Shadow Agents, which I think this one is a dragon romance, Administrative Control, Strategic Vulnerability, Immortal Outcasts, Separation Zone, Area of Influence, and that was all the books that I bought from this one particular author. I told you it's a lot, but I think they basically had all for paranormal and a couple of her contemporary titles on sale. So I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Then up next I have 2 books from N.J. Walters, and this is part of this author's like Dragon Fated Mates romance series. So the first book I have by this author is Draken's Prey and Draken's Promise, and this is all part of the Blood of the Drakon trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Then up next I have a couple books by Nora Ash, and this author I kind of found when I was kind of just scrolling on Twitter. Some of my friends who are like really into audiobooks were posting clips about this author's work, and I was like, who is this author? Like, let me check this author out. I believe this author writes a lot of like Omegaverse stories, and I'm not 100% familiar with what that even means, or like what does that even mean, or what am I even saying, or even if I'm like describing it correctly, but I think they're Omegaverse stories with like a paranormal edge to it. So the first book I have from her is Obsession, which is Feral Book 1. Then I have Dangerous, which I'm not quite sure is paranormal. This one may be Mafia, but we're gonna move on. And then I have Alpha, which is book 1 in the Alpha Tai series, which I think is another Omegaverse series from this author. Then I have a couple books by R.A. Stephan, and the first book is Masters of Hounds, I think. Masters of Hounds is book 1 in that series, and this is an MM romance. Then I have Forsaken Fae. I believe this is a complete series all bundled into one audiobook, and this is an MM fairy romance. And then I have Vampire Bound, and I know for sure this one is a collection of all 4 books in that series, and this one is a vampire romance. Then up next I have a couple more books by Rebecca Hefner, and these books are all part of her Paranormal Vampire series. And the first book that I have from this author is actually the prequel to the series, and this one is entitled Dawn of Peace. And then I have brought another audiobook from the same author as well, and this one is a combined bind-up of the first 3 books in the Theorius Earth series, and I believe the whole series is about 6 books long, but those were on sale, but I was like, let me stop. Let me just get the first 3 books to see if I actually like this series. Then I bought a ton of audiobooks from the author Sarah Piper. She writes mostly paranormal romances, but I bought the first 6 or 7 books in her vampire series, and the first book I bought from this author is Dark Deception, Dark Seduction, and Dark Obsession, and this is the first trilogy for this one specific couple within this overall series. And then I have Heart of Thorns, Heart of Fury, which are books 4 and 5 in a spin-off quartet that's all within the same world. I'm explaining that really wrong. I bought the other 2 books in that series a while ago, so I wanted to complete out my collection and buy these 2 remaining books. Then yet again, I bought a bunch of audiobooks from an author that I have never ever absolutely read, and yes, I feel ashamed, so do not judge me. And this author is Skye McKinnon. So the first book I have from this author is Winter Princess. Then I have Meow, which I think is like almost like a Kate Daniels-esque type paranormal romance. Then I also have From the Deeps, Rescue by Bears, which is a shifter romance. Then I have Hell's Calling, and then I have Song of Souls, and I believe this is a Pied Piper retelling, but don't quote me on that. And then the last book I have from this author is Taking Her Vikings, and this is a Viking romance. And then finally, to round out my paranormal haul, I have 2 more books by Vivian Arend, and these are the first 2 books in her Wolf Shifter series. I believe they're almost novella length. And the first book is entitled Wolf Signs, and the second book is entitled Wolf Flight. And if you thought that was the rest of the haul, you are sorely mistaken. So like, kudos to you if you made it all the way through to the halfway point of this video. I still got a ton of audiobooks to share, and a ton of audiobooks I should say to haul, because I'm hauling these audiobooks. But next we're gonna jump into the historical audiobooks that I bought. Up first, I have Shakespeare by Bill Bryson, and this is a recounting or retelling of Shakespeare's life. Then I have The Raven Prince by Elizabeth Hoyt, and this is, I think, the first book in her fairy tale retelling historical romance series. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I think it is. Then I have Sins of a Duke by Stacey Reed, one of my favorite historical romance authors. So when I saw one for audiobooks were on sale, so I was like, Thank you. I'm buying you immediately. Then I have The Absinthe Earl by Shannon Lynn Earl. I think that's the author's name. And this one is really cool. It seems like it's going to be a historical romance with like a slight mix of like steampunk and paranormal elements. So I'm super excited to be getting into that audiobook. It doesn't have the best ratings on Goodreads, but it looks really cool. So I was like, hey, it's only 99 cents. Let's give it a try. Then I have The Duke I Once Knew by Olivia Drake. And I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I think it is. Then I have The Rebel Wears Plaid by Eliza Knight. And I know this is for sure an enemies to lovers romance. Then I have The Wrong Mark Kiss by Vivian Lorette, and I think this is a third book in a series I can't remember the title for, but it follows a group of female friends. Then I have Highlander's Castle by Joanne Wadsworth, and I think this is a Scottish Highlander romance. Then I have Black Richard's Heart by Susan Tisdale, and I know nothing about this book, but it had great reviews on Goodreads. Then I have Darcy and Desire by Katie West, and this is essentially like an epilogue to Pride and Prejudice, but make it more steamy, and you have this audiobook. Then I have The Duke and the Wallflower by Jesse Cleaver. I have The Pleasure of the Marquess by Sophie Darling. Once Upon a Marquess by Courtney Milan. And then this is a problem when you buy audiobooks and you don't actually check to see what you actually own. So then I bought a box set of the first 3 books in the Highlander series by the same author, Joanne Wadsworth, and this is containing books 1 through 3. So I essentially bought book 1 twice, and I feel really stupid for that, but it is what it is. Then I bought 7 audiobooks from Grace Calloway. They had pretty much a sale on her entire backlist that was available on Chirp. So the first book I got was Her Husband's Harlot. Then I got her Wanton Wager. Then Her Protector's Pleasure. Then I got Her Prodigal Passion. Then I got M for Marquess. And then I got Enter the Duke. And then finally I got Regarding the Duke by Grace Calloway. Then to round out my historical haul, I have 2 more audiobooks from Sophie Darling, and the first one is 3 Lessons in Seduction, and I believe book 2 is Tempted by the Viscount. So up to now, like, I think I did pretty good. So like in total, I don't even want to know how much I spent on all these audiobooks. It would make me cry if I went back and calculated how much money I spent on these audiobooks, but they were all such good deals. And if you don't know anything about Chirp, all the deals typically last about 30 days and then they usually disappear. So without further ado, let's get into my biggest haul of this whole entire haul, which is contemporaries. And I'm just gonna give you a warning. If you want to go take a break, go pause this video and then come back. I have bought over 100 contemporary romance audiobooks. Yes, you heard that correctly. So buckle in. I'm gonna go through these really quickly. I have some of them broken up by author, but we're gonna run through these really quickly because I'm getting tired of hauling all these audiobooks. It's a shame on me that I waited so long to haul these audiobooks on my channel, but it is what it is. So let's get into the contemporary haul of this audiobook video. Wow, that was a really bad transition. So up first, I have 2 books by Alta Hensley. I have Bastard's Whiskey and Villain's Vodka. These are 2 books in the same series. Then I have 2 books by Alyssa Turner, and the first one is Polished, and then the second one is For Real, and these are both menage romances. Then I have 5 audiobooks from Anna Omasta, and these are all novella length. I have Daring the Neighbor, Daring Her Captor, Getting Laid. The first 3 books in the Brunswick Bay series all bound in one audiobook. And then I have January, February, March by the same author as well. Then I have 6 books from Anna Duran. I heard this author everywhere on my Twitter feed. So many of my friends were like saying you have to read this author. So I think I bought all the books in one particular series, her Scott series. So up first, I have the first 3 books in the Brixton series by Anna Duran. Then the rest of the books that I'll haul for this author are all in the same series. So we have One Hot Escape, One Hot Rumor, and then the next set of books are her Hot and Kilts series. I think that's what the name of the series is called. First I have Lachlan in a Kilt, then I have Aiden in a Kilt, and then jumping back to the One Whatever series, I have One Hot Christmas as well. Then up next I have Lethal by Sandra Brown. I've been wanting to read this author forever, so I picked up one of her audiobooks when they were on sale. Then I have Deadly Night by Heather Graham, which I believe is the first book in like a Brothers trilogy or something like that. Then I have Undenied by Maya Banks, Lick by Kylie Scott, Chaos by Jamie Shaw, The Best Kind of Trouble by Lauren Dane, Ruin and Rule by Pepper Winter, Adventures. Wildfire in His Arms by Joanna Lindsay, and this is a cowboy romance. Then I have Bittersweet by Serena Bowen, Capture by Rachel Van Dyken, Come Sundown by Nora Roberts, Shacking Up by Helena Hunting, and I believe this is a hockey romance. Kill Without Mercy by Alexandra Ivy, and this is romantic suspense. Bad Attitude by Sherilyn Kenyon, and I believe this is another romantic suspense romance. Then I have Beast by Jordan Marie, Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, Maneuver by Shell Bliss, The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, Saint by Lisa Lang Blakely. Then I have The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert, and then I have the Complete Vegas Heat Trilogy by Erica Wilde. Then I have Steadfast by Shireen Davis, and this is a romantic suspense romance. Then I have Prince Charming by C.D. Reese, and this is a royalty romance. Happiness in Jersey by Jacinta Howard, and I believe this is either interracial romance or black romance. Then I have Wrong Alibi by Christina Dodd, and this is a romantic suspense. Then I have Outmatched by Kristen Callahan and Samantha Young, and this is a boxer romance. Then I have Kiss Me Not by Emma Hart, and this is a rom-com. Then I have Mermaid Inn by Jenny Holiday, and this is another rom-com as well. Then I have Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi, and I believe this is an adult speculative fiction or literary fiction novella. Then I have They're Captive by J.L. Beck and C. Hallman, Field of Fire by Annabeth Alberts, and this is an M.M. Firefighter romance. Just Like This by Cole McCade, and I believe this this is a new adult series, and this is book 2 in that series. Then I have So That Got Weird by Amelia Kingston, I believe this is the author's name, and this is a rom-com. Then I have The Vow by Natalie Wire, and this is a billionaire romance. Then I have Idol by Kristen Callahan, and this is a rock star romance. Then I have The Engagement Embargo by Samantha Chase, and this is a rom-com. Then I have His Until Midnight by Reese Ryan, and this is part of the Harley Quinn Desires line. Then I have Battle Royale by Lucy Parker, I think that's the author's name, and this one is a foodie romance. And I think our couple are competing in a baking competition. Then I have State of Affairs by Marie Forrest, and this is a romantic suspense romance. Then I have A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harlow, and this is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and I believe it's only novella length. Then I have Passion by Molly McAdams, and I can't remember, but I think this one is a menage / Hollywood romance. Then I have Irresistible Attraction by Brenda Jackson, and this is a black love romantic suspense novel, or romance I should say. Then I have All the Feels by Olivia Dodd, and this is the book 2 in her, I can't remember the name of the series, but the first book was like the Game of Thrones fandom. I'm explaining it really wrong. It's the green cover, but this is the second book in that series. Then I have Dark Captive by Logan Fox, Sugared by Pippa Grant, Dirty Sexy Scent by Carly Phillips and Erica Wilde, Let Us Know by Delancey Stewart, and this is a Christmas novella. Then I have The Leader by Shayna Bell. Then I have Lethal Edge by Kalia Cross, and this is a romantic suspense romance. Then I have the Harmless series by Melly Rain, and this is another romantic suspense romance. Then I have Some Like It Perfect by Megan Bryce, and this is a rom-com novella. Then I have the first 3 books in the Montgomery Inc. series by Carrie Ann Ryan. Then I have Looking For by Allison Lint, and this is a menage romance. Then I have Always With Me by Barbara Freehee, and I believe this author is typically a romantic suspense, but I think this is like a small town romance with a little bit of romantic suspense subplot. Then I have His Pretend Baby by Theodora Taylor, Top Switch Bottom by Shell Bliss, and this is I believe an MC romance novella. Then I have Ryland's Beach by Dale Mayer, and this is a military romance. Then I have 7 Miles High or Miles 7 High by Leslie Pike, and this is a rom-com. Then I have True North by Amy Knupp, I think is the author's last name. Then I have Riffs and Refrains by Daphne Perry. Then I have the first 4 books of the Blazes of Love series by Aaron Wright, and this is a Firefighter romance series. Then I have Block by Jamie Davenport, and this is a hockey romance. Then I have Behind the Lyrics or something like that, or Behind the Lines by Melissa something, I'm blanking on the author's name, Melissa Riddell, and this is a rock star romance. Then I have Sweet Oblivion by Alexa Paget. Then I have Falling for Your Best Friend by Emma St. Clair. Then I have Stud by Taylor Falcon Love, I believe is the author's name. Then I have Cruel Truth by K.A. Lindy. Then I have My Best Friend's Mardi Gras Wedding by Erin Nichols, and I believe this is a small town southern rom-com. Then I have Just Once by Ellen Montford, and I believe this is what is this? This is a romance novella. Then I have Wild Irish Heart by Trisha O'Malley, and the reason why I picked up this book in particular is when I went to Goodreads and looked at the reviews. All the reviews were like 1 or 2 stars because it was too steamy for their taste, and I was like, okay, that's the book for me. And I promise, we are almost there, but we still got over 50 audiobooks to go through, so I warned you, this is gonna be a long video, so let's get back into my contemporary haul. So up next, I have 2 books by Cora Kemburn. I have Faded Gray Lines and Sixth Sin. Then I have 4 books by D.G. Carothers, and this is an MM romance author. order. I have first Tag Your Scene, Bearing It All, Tag Family Christmas, and then finally Tag Your Herd. Then I have 2 books by D.L. White, and this is a Black love romance author. First I have Leslie's Curves and Die, and then I have The Guy Next Door. Up next then I have 4 books by E.M. Lindsay, who was primarily an M.M. romance author. First I have Temptation, Forsaken, The Other Side of Here, and then Without a Doubt. Then I have 4 books from Eve Longley, and the first book is The Assassin Next Door, Pint Sized Protector, Hitman Wedding, and then books 1 through 4 in the Killer Mom series. Then I have 2 audiobooks from Everly Stone. I have Divine Domination and Dirty Twisted Love. Then I have 4 books from G.L. Thomas. First I have Meant for You, F This, Friends That Still, Friends That Break, all by G.L. Thomas. Then I have 3 books from Iris Moreland, and I believe all these books are all in the same series. So book 1 or one of the books in the series is Say You're Mine, All I Ask of You, and Hold Me Close. Then I have 2 books from Janine St. James. I have Maid Maylene, I think this is like a fairy tale retelling novella. And then I have Guts and Glory, book 1, Mercy. Then I have 3 books from Jill Saunders. I have Sweet Seduction, Secret Guardian, and Secret Pleasure. Then I have 7 books from Jolie Day, an author that I have never read, but I've been wanting to read something from this author. So up first I have The Bodyguard, The Biker, The Billionaire Hotshot, Billionaire Boss Secret Baby, Accidental Roommate, Boss the Wolf, Tyler, all by Jolie Day. Then I have 3 books by Julia Kent, Fluffy, Feisty, and Hasty. Then I have 4 books by K.A. Tucker, Until It Fades, Break Me, Surrender to Me, and then Teach Me. Then I have 3 books by Kate Nolan, and she's kind of like your southern rom-com type author. First I have Watch Over Me, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, and Burn for You. Then I have 3 books by Laramie Briscoe. Heard nothing about this author, but I heard this author is pretty high esteem. So up first I had the first 3 books in the Moonshire Moon Task Force. Then I have Ace, which is book 4, and then Menace. Then I have 2 books by Laura Griffin, and this is a romantic suspense author. Up first I have Hidden, and then Last Seen Alone. Then I have 6 books by Laura Lynn Page. I have Close, Sweet Fate, Dirty Filthy Rich Men, Dirty Filthy Rich Love, Sweet Liar, and Dirty Filthy Rich Boys. Then I have 2 books by Lisa Renee Jones. I have When He's Dirty and What If I Never, which is book 1 in a trilogy. Then I have 3 books by McKenna James, and she mostly writes rom-com novellas. First I have Baby Inheritance, Lucky Inheritance, and then The Prince's Baby. Then I have 4 books from my queen of rom-coms, Megan Quinn. I have My Best Friend's Ex, Tangled Twosome, Love Sincerely Yours, and Co-Wrecker. Then I have 2 books from Mira Lynn Kelly, and these are 2 books in our hockey series. So up first I have Dirty Hookup, and then Dirty Talker. Then I have 6 books from another queen of the romance genre, Naima Simone. I have Scoring with the Wrong Twin, Beauty and the Bachelor, The Millionaire Makeover, Gabriel, The Bachelor's Promise, and A Millionaire at Midnight. Then I have 3 books from Natasha Madison, who kind of writes your sweet, mostly southern with some sports romance rom-coms. First I have My Perfect Love Story, Only One Kiss, and then Only One Chance. Then I have 2 books from Nikki Sexx. I have no idea who this author is, but I heard her stuff is steamy. So at first I have the first 3 books in the Andres Alpha series, and then I have another collection of 3 books in her erotic collection. Then I have 4 books from Nikki Sloan. I believe these are all part of the same series. So I have 3 Little Mistakes, 3 Dirty Secrets, 3 Sweet Nothings, and then 3 Guilty Pleasures. Then I have 4 books from Samantha A. Cole, and she really, I don't even know what she writes. It's like kind of like romantic suspense erotica, if that's kind of how I would classify her books. So up first I have Take the Money and Run, The Road to Solace. Then I had the first 3 books in one audiobook for the Leather and Laces series, and then I have Cold Feet. Then up next I have 8 books from Sawyer Bennett. Up first I have Legal Affairs, Wicked Knight, Codename Sentinel, Codename Heist, Uncivilized, Codename Hacker, Codename Ghosts, and then finally Codename Rook. And then I have another 5 books from author Sienna Snow, and this author came on my radar because Joe Arden, if you want to go watch that interview, I'll link that up above, really saying this author's praises. So I bought 5 books from this author. First I have Masters of Sin, Master of Games, Master of Revenge, Master of Control, and then finally Masters of Secret. And then I bought 2 books from Sierra Simone, and I believe this is books 2 and 3 in the new Camelot series. So first I have American Prince, and then finally I have American King. And then I bought 5 more books from Sky Warren. First I have Better When It Hurts, Survival of the Richest, Escort, Sweet, and then Beauty and the Professor. And then I promise we are almost there. We're in the last 10 audiobooks. You have made it. We're almost in the home stretch. But then I have 2 books by Tara Wyatt. First I have Stealing Home, and then Wild Card. Then I have 2 books from Tana Fensky. First I have The 2-Date Rule, and then Just a Little Bit. Then I have 5 books from Vanessa Vale, and I believe this is all within one series. So first I have Lassoed, Spurred, Hitched, Tangled, and then Wrangle. I like that. Kind of rhymed a little bit at the end. And then the final author, so the last 5 audiobooks are all from Willow Winters. First I have Tequila Rose, Falling at First Sight, Kiss Me, Tell Me You Want Me, and then finally Tease Me Once. And so that is all the audiobooks that I have bought from Chirp. If you have not gotten on the Chirp train, I need you to do so right now. If you are at all a fan of audiobooks, it is such a great deal. You don't have to go as crazy as me, because I went a little nuts. I definitely went like way more than nuts. Just wait for when I do my audiobook haul from Audible from their sale that happened a couple weeks ago. That one is gonna be absolutely crazy as well. But yes, go use Chirp, go support it. It's absolutely amazing. The money goes, I think, directly to the authors, and I think Chirp is owned by the same company that created BookBub, so that's how these 2 services have come into existence. And you don't know anything about BookBub, essentially is like a price tracker for any sales that go on like on the various different vendors, so you can always get your ebooks at the lowest price possible. So I think I've talked way more than enough. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't be asking me how much money I spent on all these audiobooks, because then I will say you rude and then I will delete your comment. But let me know down in the comment section down below if you have read any of these books, and let me know which one of these audiobooks I should prioritize over the others. And I think I'm pretty much going to put myself on an audiobook buying ban for the rest of 2022 for at least a week. For at least a week, I'll hold true to that ban. No promises after that 1 week period is up. So thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys on a brand new video. Peace.